Hello and welcome to the Book Bunch. My name is Sam. It is so great to have you guys here for another video. I managed to film during the day this time round, so the lighting is obviously much better. But yes, I'm still struggling to find a place that's actually has good lighting at night in this house that isn't around everybody, but maybe I need to get some lights or something and see what I can do. But today I have some super exciting reads. They're all either 5-star or 4.5 star, so definitely solid ones these last 3 days. So I hope that you like them as much as I do. I wouldn't really say there's any specific genre for these ones because I think they're all slightly different, but still definitely worth your time if you like fantasy at all, or things that are kind of give you fantasy vibes but aren't necessarily fantasy. But yes, we are going to get right into it. I have 2 physical books and then I have one that is an ebook, which I'm going to share with you guys as well. But first, we're going to talk about Caraval. I literally finished this book about 2 minutes ago and I'm screaming. I loved this book so much. This is 100% a 5 out of 5 star. I need to say thank you so much, Katie over at Paperbacks and Ponytails, for suggesting this one to me because this is 100% my thing. So I loved The Night Circus. Don't love the author at all. Don't recommend her. But that one book of hers is Chef's Kiss perfect, and it's 5 out of 5 stars, and it's clean, and it's all about this crazy circus and things that go on. And I had put out ages ago, I was like, does anyone know any books like that? And Katie had suggested Caraval, but then I kind of put off buying it, and then after I finally managed to get a copy, I put off reading it. I'm so sorry that I put off reading it because this book easily as good as The Night Circus. Honestly, wouldn't be able to tell you which one I liked better, and I cannot wait to get the other 2 books in the series. I think what I'm going to do is buy the other 2 as ebooks just so I can get them straight away and read them, and then buy them as physical copies later when I can afford to, because they are a little bit pricey for my current financial situation. But yes, these books are amazing and I love this story. So what is it about? We follow this girl named Scarlett and her sister Donatello, and they live at home with their father, and he is rather abusive, not a good guy at all. And their mother has gone missing like many years prior, and they don't really know what's happened to her. But like they just know that her father has changed in a bad way since she disappeared. And yeah, they're just trying to survive this not good home situation. And Scarlett thinks that all of her problems are going to be solved because her father has arranged for her to marry this count, who she's been exchanging letters with, and he seems like a decent guy, and he is willing to take her sister with them when they go and get married so that they can escape their father, basically. But just before the wedding is set to occur, she receives some tickets to Caraval from the showmaster, carnival master, and his name is Legend, because she has been writing letters to him for the past like 7 or 8 years every year to try and get tickets and just like talk to him and stuff like that, because she grew up hearing these stories about how magical Caraval was from her grandmother. So she gets these tickets in the mail, but things kind of fall apart quickly, and she decides she's not going to go because it's more important for her to go get married, to avoid her father's wrath toward her and her sister, than it is for her to experience Caraval. So it's more like she really wants to go, but it's just like a bad timing situation. But then her sister recruits this sailor guy to kidnap her and take them both to Caraval because there's a third ticket, and the sister is like, I'm going to give you the third ticket if you kidnap me and my sister. So Scarlet gets kidnapped and she wakes up on this boat, and the guy his name is Julian, is rowing her to this shore of this island that Caraval is on. And he's like, your sister's already on the island waiting for you. I had to leave her there so that I could go get you on the rowboat because there's not enough room for all of us. But when they show up on the beach, her sister is gone. And Scarlet is just like, no, I just need to grab my sister and leave and get back in time before my father notices, and so I can go ahead with this marriage. So she promises to stay just for the first day of Caraval, just to find her sister, and then she's going to leave. But things don't go according to Scarlett's plans, and she has to pretend that Julian is her fiance. She is not happy about it. Um, and then, yeah, she kind of gets sucked into this world of Caraval, and she finds out that the only way to find her sister is to finish the game of Caraval, because her sister is the prize, basically the prize, because Legend has kidnapped her from the beach to kind of use as bait for everyone, and whoever finds Scarlet's sister first wins a wish from Legend, any wish. And yes, it is absolutely magical and amazing, and there's romance, and it's so good, and just there is so many lies and twists and turns, and you just don't know what is real and what is not. But it is amazing and a little bit scary in like a thrillery kind of way. And I was absolutely hooked, and I read this so fast, and I cannot wait to see what happens in the other books. But yes, that is Caraval. Highly recommend it. I definitely think I will be picking up other books from Stephanie Garber. Yeah, I really liked her stuff. So then there is Sherwood, which I read because I think I heard about this, I want to say from Celestia maybe. I don't know if she had read it or if she had heard about it or something, but I believe it was her that I heard about it from. And I added it to my list because it was super interesting. And then I happened to be at a secondhand bookshop on the weekend, and it was there. And I was like, no way. I cannot believe that they had a copy that was in like perfect condition. So I nabbed that for only a couple of dollars. So I dove into it straight away because I was actually super interested by this one. It ended up being a 4.5 out of 5 overall because I still don't know how I feel about the ending. But this follows Marianne, who, as you guys know, was Robin Hood's lady. And this is a twist on that story. So we follow Marianne, and she receives the news that Robin is dead because he went off to fight the King's War when they were engaged. And on his return, they were meant to get married. And he was going to be he is a lord of Loxley, and she is a lady of some other region, which I can't remember, like neighboring regions, and they'd grown up together and fallen in love, and it was like super beautiful. But yes, he dies on the battlefield, and she while she's waiting for him to return, she gets news that her maid's brother has been arrested and is going to be killed for, I think it was a robbery or something. And she's like, no, that can't be real. Like, he can't be executed. Like, he was one of Robin's friends. And so she takes off and goes and intervenes. And as she intervenes, the guy that has arrested the brother, I think from memory his name is Guy. Was that his name? Yeah, Guy of Gisborne. I'm getting confused because I'm saying Guy too much. Yeah, he was the one that arrested this brother, and she is like, no, stop, you need to wait till Robin gets back to do a trial. He's one of Robin's men. Robin wouldn't agree with this. you've got to let him go. And so she kind of sets him free, and he like runs off into Sherwood Forest to hide, and basically goes on the run. And Guy is like, no, Marianne, Robin's not coming back. We've just heard news that he died on the battlefield. And he hands over Robin's mother's ring, which was her engagement ring that she had let him take with her on a chain to like remember her by, kind of thing. And her whole world falls apart, and she is just like in immense grief because her true love, or who she thinks is her true love, um, has died, and her whole future is on end, and she just doesn't know what to do with herself. And so she ends up back home, and in her grief, she starts to hear Robin's voice in her head, and she feels very compelled to do whatever she believes Robin would have wanted. And so she sneaks back into Robin's house, into his bedroom, and like to partly to console herself, and she ends up finding some of his clothes and his signature hood, and she takes it with her. And then like that evening or the next evening or something, she finds out that they have Guy has almost hunted down the brother again in Sherwood Forest. And so she like dresses up as Robin and takes off to go save him, because she is very skilled with the bow and very skilled with the sword, because like her and Robin kind of learnt together as kids, and she's very competitive, so she always like out dueled Robin. And yeah, so she goes to save his guy, well, his man, I should say, not Guy, because Guy's the attacking guy. But yes, so, and in the confusion, Robin's man thinks that it is actually Robin back from the dead, because he doesn't see Marianne's face. He just sees the ring hanging from her neck and his cloak and everything, and he's like, Robin's back from the dead. She manages to stop him from getting arrested that night, but yeah, things keep getting out of control, and she keeps finding herself in situations where she has to pretend to be Robin. And then Guy hears that there's this Robin figure around, and the sheriff hears that there's this Robin figure around, and so he becomes like the county's most wanted, essentially. And Miriam's trying to live this double life without being caught, and Guy is trying to court her because he's going to become the new Lord of Locksley, and he wants her to marry him. And they're like become mortal enemies, and like all of this stuff happens. And yes, it's a battle between her as Robin while trying to still put up a ruse as Miriam, and yeah, her against this Guy figure and the sheriff. And yes, it was very adventure feeling. Definitely a lot of deception and various things, and a lot of, oh my goodness, she is going to get caught any minute. And then the ending is a little bit of a blindside. I wasn't expecting it. It's mostly clean, I will say. The only thing to keep note of is there's one rather steamy scene. Nothing ends up happening, but there's a lot of lead up that makes you think something's going to happen, and then it doesn't, and that made me feel a little bit awkward. But the only other thing apart from that one incident is there is some use of God's name in vain, but I honestly couldn't always tell if it was meant to be a swear or not, because these people are meant to be like Catholic type faith. Yeah, so I don't really know, but yeah, some of it didn't sit great with me, so I kind of just skipped over those bits. But it's kind of up to you guys to decide. But it was very minimal. Like, there's probably only 5 or 6 incidences in the whole book. So that is Sherwood. And then finally, there is Silver Bounty, which is book 2 in... I can't remember what the actual series is called, but the first book is called Oathbound. And The third book is coming out pretty soon, which I'm so excited about because I need to know how this series ends. So we follow Emmy again and Anne, and Emmy is really sick and she is dying really fast. Because yeah, things have not gone to plan, and in order to prolong her life, um, long enough that she can then cure herself of the other disease that is killing her, she has to go get the head of the king and then return it to a mermaid. So she has to be able to find the king, get to the king, kill the king and take his head, and then bring this king's head back to this mermaid who is quite a while, like a month's journey away, all before this poison in her system kills her. And she has to do all of that fast enough that she can be cured by the poison and still have enough strength to go back and get another elder nut from the first book to cure her actual disease. And so she is not doing well, and Arn is very distressed by it, and he is like very intent on helping her and curing her and doing whatever it needs to happen. And the biggest obstacle is that he's no longer the captain. So he is trying to get Ontario, who's the new captain, to do everything for Emmy, and make it all possible. And Ontario, thankfully, is very willing because Emmy sacrificed herself. Like, the whole reason she's poisoned is because she saved all of them in the previous book. And Ontario and her are kind of friends, so he's willing to do this for her because she's part of the crew. But it is a huge undertaking and a huge sacrifice to all of those involved. And yeah, things just do not go to plan. Landon is back in the picture and it's a whole disaster. And Emmy also refuses to believe that Emmerich has died, and yeah, that is a whole thing. So there is a lot going on. So good though. I enjoyed every bit of it. Sorry, I have to yawn. Yeah, I would give it. I think I gave it, when I rated it, a 5 out of 5 as well. It's such a good story. It's such a good pirate story. I'm really enjoying it. But yes, I really need to know what happens in the third book. And the author has promised on Instagram that it's going to end well, and I'm holding her to that because, oh my goodness, if this doesn't end happy, I'm going to be so devastated. I'm going to be gut wrenched, because I need Emmy and Aunt to be okay. But based on the ending of this book, things are not looking good. I just really hope that she has more faith in him than she is indicating at the end of this book. But yes, it's a bit crazy. I'm also livid at Ontario. I don't understand why he's making the choices he's making. Like, I understand that he's a bit pissed off at Anne because Anne is being disrespectful, but like, they are still, like, they were best mates for years. Like, surely a little bit of disrespect over a bad situation shouldn't be enough to cause what is happening. But who knows? I'm kind of hoping they explain it a bit more in book 3. But yeah, I do not know what's going to happen in book 3. The storyline of book 3 is going to be really good though, based on the lead up at the end of book 2 and what it is hinting at the whole story going to be about. So I am looking forward to that. But yes, it needs to come out like yesterday so I can read it. But if you like pirate stories at all, definitely check out this series. It is so good. It is completely clean, which is great because most pirate stories are very crude, but this is not that, and it is just as swashbuckling and amazing. So I'm very much so looking forward to that. But that's everything for this video, guys. I will see you guys on Saturday for our live. Michael and I are going to be discussing his upcoming book, which comes out in only a couple of months. I have already reviewed it for you guys here on the channel. But yes, we are going to talk all about it. So if you want to hear me talk to you guys about an author, make sure you're here at 10 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, Saturday. It should be your Friday night. Yes, I'll see you guys then, and have a great week. Bye.